The Northwestern is a very busy railway. You can't go 1 second without seeing an engine racing by with passengers or goods. One evening, James pulled into Knapford Station with his last train of the day. He saw a man with a video camera approaching the Fat Controller's office. Ooh, another photographer. He must be taking another picture at Tidmouth.
I don't think that's a photographer, James.
It could be a filmmaker. That looks like a video camera to me.
James's driver was right. That night, the Fat Controller had some exciting news for the engines.
Tomorrow, a filmmaker will be recording a documentary of the island.
What's a documentary?
Documentary, Percy. It's a film that gives information and facts about a topic.
Quite right, Henry. The topic of this documentary will be about railways and how you engines do your everyday work. Just act natural and do what you do best. Thomas, I want you to collect him at Knapford tomorrow morning and show him around.
The engines were very excited. Imagine if the whole documentary was about me. It could be called Here's James.
That's a silly name for a documentary. It should be about me on my branch line. It'd be called Thomas on the Track.
Such silly engines you are. It's a documentary, not a television show.
I agree with Gordon. Plus, it's not just about one engine. It's about all of us and how we do our work.
Not to mention the Fat Controller said we have to act natural.
So, we should just pretend like nothing is happening?
Precisely. Before long, all the engines fell asleep. Except Thomas and James. They couldn't help but think about the documentary and how they could be the main focus. Hey, Thomas? We both want to be the main focus of the documentary, right?
Yeah?
I think I might have a way for both of us to get what we want. The next morning, the engines were getting ready to start their day. Remember the plan?
Yes, James, I remember the plan.
Thomas met the filmmaker on the platform, getting his camera ready.
Good morning, sir. I'm Thomas. I'd like to show you how I shunt trains in the morning for the documentary.
Very well, Thomas.
Thomas took the filmmaker to the shunting yard and he started recording.
Every morning, I come down here to arrange coaches and trucks for the engines.
Commentary. I like it.
Now to take Gordon's express coaches to the platform. And that's how we start the day. Soon, Gordon will arrive to take the express.
And cut. Magnifico, Thomas. Where to next?
Thomas smiled.
I'll tell you in a minute. Be right back.
Meanwhile, back at Tidbit Sheds, the Fat Controller had just given the engines their jobs for the day. James was sulking as Thomas huffed up.
It's all going to plan, James. Now, where are you working today?
Why don't you take a guess, Thomas?
Your tone tells me it's somewhere trucks related.
The coaling plant, Thomas! The dirty, grimy old coaling plant! I can't let the filmmaker see me working there!
What's the big deal? Oh wait, I forgot who I was talking to. Calm down, James. Yes, your paint's gonna get dirty, but...
The plan is off! I'd rather not be on camera at all than be seen on the camera dirty! James pouted as Thomas puffed back to Knapford. He meets the filmmaker on the platform recording Gordon pulling out.
Ah, Thomas. I just finished filming some excellent footage of Gordon. Where to next?
It is the Great Western Way, after all.
Arg, ships be coming for miles yonder, matey. Yar.
Yes, the storm is blue because... Yeah, we fix engines, big or small, my friend.
And that's why the Express is the pride of the line.
Before Thomas knew it, it was evening. James said the plan was off, but Thomas still wanted him to be part of the documentary. He screeched to a halt.
I have one more place to show you, sir.
At the coaling plant, James was arranging his last trucks of the day. Then he heard a familiar whistle. Oh no, don't tell me. Thomas, what are you doing here?
To get footage of you being useful, of course.
But I said the plan was... Ugh. Oh, fine. I'm almost done anyway. James continued working as the filmmaker recorded his every wheel spin and piston pump. Soon, the job was done. Well, I'm off to the washdown, I suppose.
I have an idea. Let's follow him. I'll tell you why on the way.
Thomas arrived at the washdown and the filmmaker started to record.
After a hard day's work, we could come to the washdown. We're cleaned from funnel to footplate and ready for the next day, as shown here.
James was confused at first, but quickly caught on to what Thomas was doing. Yes, indeed! Washdowns are a big part of an engine's day.
And you were working at the coaling plant today, correct?
Yes, coal is very important for the railway after all, so of course an important engine was chosen for the job. Soon, Thomas and James dropped off the filmmaker at Knapford Station and headed home.
Well, James, how about that?
Only I could manage to turn working at the coaling plant into a 10-minute speech. Thanks, Thomas.
Oh, that's alright. At least now we've both got what we wanted.
The next evening, all the engines were at Knapford Station for the premiere of the documentary. A large outdoor movie screen was set up. When everyone was ready, the filmmaker started the film.
The island of Sodor, for its size, is one of the most famous and successful railways in the world. The engines of the Northwestern Railway work hard to ensure its everlasting success. This is a Sodor Documentary.
Look at me, Thomas! Bright and shiny, up on the big screen!
Well, I wasn't gonna let the shiniest red engine on Sodor miss out on an opportunity like this, was I?
Stanley is a tank engine who works at Knapford shunting yards on the island of Sodor. He's a very helpful engine with 6 red wheels, a tall silver funnel, gleaming brass buffers and a shiny nameplate. He's a hard worker too, often getting trains set for engines big and small to take to their destinations.
What's the matter, Charlie?
My boiler's been aching for hours, and I don't know what's wrong.
No wonder you haven't been your wisecracking self.
I think I should go to the steamworks now. I tried waiting it out, but it's getting worse.
And what exactly is wrong with your boiler?
I don't know. It just hurts and feels dry.
Oh, this happened to me before. Just take some more coal and you'll be fine.
Ah, much better. Thanks, Stanley.
Anytime, Charlie.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Stanley also knows a thing or two about engines. He often helps his friends when they're in a bother.
Just put some more oil on your wheels, Neville. That'll make them less stiff. Also, make sure there aren't any stones wedged between your side rods. Water must have leaked into your diesel fuel, Paxton. Just take on a fresh batch. Your whistle is fine, Oliver. It just needs to be knocked back into place. Engines go to the steamworks over the littlest of things.
Later, the Fat Controller came to speak with Stanley. Stanley, I've been watching you for a while, and it only just occurred to me that you're quite knowledgeable about engines.
Oh, no, sir. I'm not an expert like Victor or anything. I just know a couple of things here and there, that's all.
I see. But I've seen you help 3 engines today, and I think that is very useful.
Thank you, sir.
The Fat Controller looked around. Stanley, do you remember the repair yard? It used to be over there.
Yes, sir, but it stopped being used after the steamworks and diesel works opened.
Precisely. Now, I have a proposition for you, Stanley. I'm thinking of restoring it.
It'll be used for when engines have minor faults and problems.
That's a great idea, sir.
There'll be spare parts and whatnot. I'll expand it and put more sidings, so that there'll still be room for your shunting. Think of it as a mini steamworks.
And who's going to be in charge of it, sir?
You, Stanley. That's the proposition. What do you think?
Oh, well...
Oh, don't worry. You'll still be doing your regular shunting duties. Think of it as a promotion. Just continue giving your fellow engines advice and make sure things are running smoothly.
Okay, sir. I'll do my best.
That's a good engine. Now, I'm off to make the arrangements. I want you to collect spare parts from the steamworks and the diesel works and bring them here.
Stanley, my friend, what can I do for you?
A truck of spare parts, please, Victor.
What for?
The Fat Controller is restoring the repair yard.
Oh, very nice. In that case, you can have that flatbed over there. What's the matter, my friend?
The Fat Controller wants me to be in charge of it.
Shouldn't you be happy about that?
I am. I'm just nervous is all. He did say I'm quite knowledgeable about engines.
Really? I had no idea.
No, I know a few things here and there, but I'm not an expert like you or Den and Dart.
Who said I'm an expert?
You are?
Of course not, my friend. Do you think I was perfect on day one? In fact, I'm still not perfect. There is no perfect. Just last week, I lost a flatbed that had Emily's new buffers. Turns out I left them behind at the transfer yard.
I'm sure she wasn't pleased about that.
She wasn't, but I collected it the next day. When I first arrived, I was just a humble shunter who brought parts. I made mistakes, of course, but I got better, learned how engines worked, and now I'm in charge of this place.
Wow, you sure are something, Victor.
Nowadays, Kevin here is the one who keeps making a ruckus, but even he is trying his best and improving. By the way, how did you learn about how engines work?
I used to break down a lot on my old railway. The workmen at the works were really nice, and they'd talk to me while I was fixed. They would give me tips and tell me what to do if something went wrong. I was always in the works, so I'd overhear them giving advice to diesels too. I suppose I picked up a couple of things that I still know to this day.
Interesting. Thomas told me that you were a newly built engine when you arrived.
Not at all. Before I came to Sodor, the workmen gave me a complete overhaul.
Well, Stanley, my advice for you is to keep your funnel high and do your best. Don't beat yourself up if you make mistakes. You'll figure things out in no time.
Thank you, Victor. I appreciate it.
Anytime, my friend. Good luck.
After his little chat with Victor, Stanley felt much better. He collected parts from the diesel works and made his way back to the yard. The next day, construction officially began. Soon, the job was done. This repair shed will be used for engines with small issues. Stanley will always be around if you need assistance.
What will you name it, sir?
Ooh!
Yes, Charlie?
What about Stanley's workshop?
Not bad.
Well, sir?
Stanley's workshop it is. Stanley is now busier than ever. Not only does he shunt, but now he has a repair shed named after him, where he'll continue to help his fellow engines. And Stanley couldn't be happier. On the island of Sodor, there are many, many stations. They are the destinations where passengers and goods are delivered to. It's the station master's job to ensure that everything runs smoothly. The circus was back on Sodor. The most really useful engine at the end of the day would take the train away at dawn.
Take it easy there.
The sooner I get all my jobs done, the better.
There's plenty of time to finish your work. What's the rush?
Didn't you hear the Fat Controller this morning?
About the circus train. Isn't that at dawn? No one will see your paint, you know.
It's the principal.
Oh, left my watch on board. Be right back, son.
Hey, quit it. No, James, wait.
But it was too late. James had gone.
Dear, oh dear.
Thomas, Annie and Clarabelle were on their way to Knapford.
Okay, my turn. I spy with my little eye something odd.
The little boy, all alone on the platform.
No! It was two squirrels fighting! The squirrels weren't fighting, dear.
No, look! Hi there. Where's your parents?
The boy was too scared to answer Thomas.
Oh my! The poor dear's shaking.
Do you know what I do when I'm nervous?
The boy shook his head.
I huff and puff 3 times. For you, that would be taking deep breaths.
How about you do it with him, Thomas?
Good idea, Annie. Copy me, okay? Now, can you tell me what happened?
The boy told Thomas what happened while Thomas's driver went to talk to the station master.
That's terrible!
You must have been very frightened, huh?
The boy nodded. Just then, Thomas's driver came back with the station master.
I've already phoned ahead. The boy's father is waiting at Crosby, but it might be a while before he gets back.
I've got an idea. Don't worry, you'll be back with your dad in no time. So, got a name?
Manny?
That's a nice name. I'm Thomas.
Thomas and Manny talked as they travelled down the line. Before they knew it, they were at Crosby.
Oh my word! Manuel! Thank you so much!
Oh, it was no trouble, really.
Did we miss the circus?
Not yet. In about 5 minutes.
Need a ride back to Elsbridge?
Thank you once again for your kindness.
Thomas, sir. No problem. Enjoy the circus.
Bye, Thomas.
Thomas watched as Manny and his father left. That night, the Fat Controller came to see the engines.
Oh no!
What?
I was late with my slate train after the Elsbridge incident.
That's very sad, Thomas. Luckily, I got all my jobs done today, so I'll clearly be...
Good evening, everyone. Thomas.
I'm sorry for being late, sir. There was a lost child stranded at...
Don't worry, Thomas. I know all about it.
You do?
Yes. I also know that you saved that boy, and thanks to you, not only was he reunited with his father, he also had a wonderful day at the circus. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, sir. It was nothing really.
Oh, Thomas, your act of kindness made that boy's day. I think that alone deserves the honor of pulling the circus train.
But sir, I got all my jobs done early today.
Yes, James, but what happened at Elsbridge can't be ignored. I know it wasn't your fault, and I'll be having some serious words with the station master, but Thomas deserves it. Good night. James was so furious he was the only engine who couldn't fall asleep that night. At dawn, James left the shed.
Maybe shunting in the yard will take my mind off it.
When James puffed into the yard, it was in a terrible mess. But James didn't even care. He went straight to work. Soon, James began enjoying himself. Before he knew it, he was done. Just then, he saw the circus train.
Oh, if only I could pull you. Oh well, I might as well set you up for Thomas.
Why are you talking to the circus train, James?
Don't worry, I'm not trying to steal your job. I just shunted it into place for you.
Oh, thanks.
Thomas coupled up to the train. He looked around at the clean yard, then to James's sad face.
Hey, James, when's your first job for the day?
I'm not sure. Why?
Well, if 2 engines take this, it'll be done much quicker and...
Let's do this.